Hi guys, and welcome to a new Blender tutorial. In this tutorial we are importing a custom object to the asset library of Enscape using Blender. Let's start by downloading an asset that we want to bring back into Enscape, and for that I'm going to use the website mixamo.com. It's a wonderful website for animated people shape. So I'm going to go for talking on the phone. I think this one is pretty good for what we want. We click on it, then we go download, and then go to download. It's going to download the model and also the animation. We need to wait a bit, and then we want to go into Blender, and here we want to go to File, Import, FBX, go to our folder and import our asset. It's going to be inserted in the center of the scene. Now what we want to do is delete the objects that we had in the scene before, and as you can see, this is an animation now, so you can use this to animate it however you want, but also if you press play you will have the animation. Let's now select everything, Ctrl A, visual geometry to mesh, and then we need to select this and then go to object data properties, to vertex group, and you kind of need to delete all this group. I don't know another way of doing it. If anybody knows a faster way of doing it, which I think it should be, please let me know in the comments, but this is the way I'm doing it. I'm deleting all the groups related to the animation, and now if we select again everything and the visual to geometry, we can now delete the armature, and we're gonna have this model in place. So we want to rotate it on X 90, and now it's clearly too big, so we want to go Shift A, mesh, add a cube. Let's just make 1.70 the cube, and as you can see, this is pretty big. So if we select this one, then Shift select this one, and then go Ctrl J, it will make a single mesh. So we want to press S and scale it down, press numpad 1 to zoom in, then just select the cube, go G, Z, and put it above the top. So if you press numpad 1 and then Z wireframe with machine tools, you can select the wireframe mode. So S, and let's make it about this height. Now it should be okay. Delete the cube, Z, go back to solid, Control select everything, Control A, and apply the scale. Okay, now the model is ready to be exported. But before doing that, we want to keep in check our polygon count, because Revit in general is not dealing that good with too many polygons. So let's go and activate statistics, and you can see here we have 49,000 triangles. So we can go on and try to export it like this. If you I have Y binned to show the wireframe, but if you want to show the wireframe in your model, just select it, go on the object properties, go in viewport display, and then you have wireframe here. If you right click, you can set your shortcut to wireframe. Okay, so now let's go and export this. Export, and let's export it as a, we can export it either as a FBX or OBJ or even Collada. So but I like to export it as a OBJ. So let's go here, main pose, sorry, main pose. You want to leave everything as it is, go to export, and what you want is either to create a different export for your placeholder, but in this case we don't need one. It's either I'm going to use the same model for my placeholder, or maybe I will add a simpler placeholder made in AutoCAD with top view and side view, and I think that's the way we should go about it, because you get better result in Revit. So let's go and open up Revit. I'm just gonna open the free scene, and I'm just gonna go to level 1. Let's open the Enscape tab, asset library. Let's create a new asset. We need to switch to custom asset editor. You can add a title here. Phone, okay, and even can create your category. Let's go and talk to people. Add. You can add your description and so on, but let's go to import, and we want to go to our downloads, and we have talking on the phone FBX, but we said we're gonna export it as an OBJ, so it should be sorry, location, it's different. So let's take this, go back to our Enscape, paste here the path main pose OBJ. So let's open that up. It will take a bit because it's quite big. So if you want to navigate in this view, you do it basically as you would do it in Enscape. You use WASD on your keyboard to move around, and with the left mouse you can orbit around until you find yourself a nice pose. So now what you want to do is to look at the scaling, and the scaling is in meter here, so it looks about right. You're gonna have the y-axis as an upward axis, and on the left side you can add material for each of the materials that you have here. The main thing you need to do when you're importing an object here is that the UV mapping of the object is done correctly in your software, otherwise you will get bad UVs here obviously. So let's try just add a random photo that we can find somewhere. Let's see if I have something here. Just gonna add this one, and now everything is green. And for the second one, let's change the color, add the color gray, and I think it's alright. So now what you can do is click on this one and add a placeholder for how you would want this to be seen. But before doing that, you would want to have a thumbnail for it. So let's take a thumbnail by pressing this over here, and we will add the placeholders and everything in the family editor. So let's go on and save changes and export. The asset was exported, so now we can close it down, go to our Revit. Now if we want to place it, let's place it somewhere here. It will take a while because it has a lot of polygons. Let's just place it here, press escape, going through your 3D view, and it was added a custom placeholder for it. So now if we go into Enscape, there you go. If we go closer, we're gonna have our model. It's on the scale, it's right. It's just that it's floating a bit, but the scale is right. The only problem would be that the placeholder, it's a bit. So let's copy this one and put it at the same place and go back to our Enscape, and they were quite similar in height. Okay, so obviously you don't want to see when you go into your elevation. Let's pick south elevation. You don't want to see it like this, obviously, because it's not practical. You want to emulate the shape of a human. So you can do that two ways. First of all, you can go back into Blender and add a decimate modifier, and let's try to decimate this by 2. You don't need a very good resolution for your placeholder, so I think let's go just above, just under 15,000. So let's go 0.3. 0.3 should be fine. Let's go press Ctrl A to apply the modifier, and then let's just export this as an obj, impose, and let's say placeholder just export it as it is. Let's go back in our Revit, Enscape, asset library. Let's edit the asset, switch to custom asset editor. But before doing that, you would need to delete what you've done so far, because for some reason you will not recognize your placeholder. So the way I'm deleting what I have here, I'll go back to our custom asset library, press on the source path and delete the folder, and it will disappear from here. So let's go again and press on the plus, switch to the custom asset editor, wait for it to open. Today, and then phone. Okay, let's put it into presentation. People, import geometry, main pose, open. Let's add the texture again. So let's go to desktop, just add the texture, move around and take your thumbnail, add a placeholder, go open. You can show it in your preview. Okay, check again the scale, then go and press save changes and export. So now if we close this custom asset editor, you get the warning here that the geometry of your asset contains over 20k triangles, but it should work fine. So let's close this off, go back, and let's place our object. It will take a while because of all the polygons. Obviously this humanoid form takes a lot of, it has a lot of polygons, but if you're importing a generic couch or a chair, it's not that complex. I mean, it can be, but now if you go to the south, you will see your asset like this. So if this is something you want to go for, is fine, but I think for the purposes of elevations it's too much, and for 3D I don't really bother having the cube because I'm not showing a 3D render straight from Revit that often. I'm always using Enscape, and in Enscape I achieve the right look for my model. So the way I would go about it, I would go into the family editor and add my AutoCAD elevations for this family, and this is what we are going to do next. So let's start by going into the family editor, and we have this. Now what we want to do is go into the reference plan, select our 3D model, go into the visibility and deselect all of these three, and we can leave it on. We can leave this on, it's fine, it doesn't bother me. Okay, so now what we want to do is to insert our AutoCAD blocks. I'm gonna give you the links to these files so you can follow along if you want. Basically what you want to do is make a view for each view that you want. You want to make a plan view, a side view, and a front view separately. Be sure it's in millimeters or centimeters, it's whatever you're working with Revit, and then you want to import it into your family editor. So let's start by, so you want to go insert, import CAD, go where you have, let's add a top view. I'm going to select millimeters, I don't really mind about that. Manual center, place a reference level. I'll go black and white, go open. This now will be here. So this will be our top view. I know it's not the best thing. It looks a bit big though, isn't it? Okay, let's try and scale it a bit. It's just for the purposes of this tutorial. You can be as exact as you want, so it's really up to you how you want to go about it, but for the purposes of this tutorial it's fine. So I want to preview the visibility and put this here, then I want to go here. I only want it to be shown in plan view. Okay, and then what I want to do is import the other faces. Yeah, so let's go to the front elevation, go the same, go insert, import card. Let's get the front view, open, let's set it out here. I'll also add the links for these files that I got for free. They have a lot of cool stuff. And I also add these models. So for this one I will select the visibility options, and I don't want to see it seen in plan. I'll leave this on, but I will add a visibility parameter, and I'll say front, say instance. I'd like to put it under graphics. Go OK. Okay, and now let's go to a left side view and do the same. Insert, import card, go to side view, go open, place it here, go align. For some reason it doesn't want to. Okay, I think it's about right. We want this to not be shown in plan view, but I want it to be, and I'll add another parameter, visibility parameter, called side view. And let me see if the front parameter has a, yeah, so it's an instance parameter. That means it's gonna appear on the side instead of going into the editor. It will just appear on the side. Go OK, and if we go to the view, everything should be in place. I'm happy with it. What you want to do is import it into your project, overwrite existing version, and then let's see what's happening. So as you can see, we have all the views here, so we can close the ones that we don't want. Let's just add another parameter, visibility parameter, for the top view also, so it's easier to control that way. So let's go here and go top and go make it an instance, go to graphics, say OK, load it to the project, overwrite existing version, and now we're gonna have another parameter for this one. Okay, so if we select this and go like this, it will disappear. So now if we go into the plan view, let's go level 1. This is where our family is supposed to be. Let's go into the 3D. This is, and activate the top view. If we go here, it's not visible. For some reason it's not visible. The reason why this is not visible is because if we go to our visibility graphic by pressing VV and look for planting, we need to activate the planting. Go apply. Okay, now it's visible, our top view, and we can control it from here, which is fine. If we go to our south elevation, we have our model looking like this, and if we go to our side elevations, it should be visible. And I think if we click on this one, yeah, so we can see through this wall we would have our side view. And I think this is a good way of showing your family in 3D. So now if we are opening Enscape, you can also add a visibility graphic for this that will be shown in your 3D if you want. I don't mind it. I don't mind having it here, because then I can move it whatever I want to move it really quick. But the beauty is that you have it really simple in your elevations and in your plans, but once you go to your Enscape, you would have a good quality of 3D model, which one you want. And the same goes for furniture or whatever object you want to import. The only difference would be that depending on how complex the model is, you would want to add a decimate in your Blender file before actually importing it. So if we go here, you can see we have our model over here in 3D, and it looks just the way we want it to look, but at the same time have it simple and looking nice in your 2Ds. This is all from me now. I am sorry again for the background noise. I'm working towards buying a new microphone, and I hope for our sanity this will happen sooner rather than later. If you enjoyed this tutorial and if you learned something new, please check out my channel, join, like and subscribe. It helps a lot. I try to upload one tutorial per week related to the architectural workflow. See you on the next one.